Okay guys, quick breakdown on Clemma's trade on EU. I thought it was a very nice one, although we did not have a change of character right here on the high time frame. There was a lot of reason. I can see he took this trade. So first of all, if we switch to our 4-hour time frame, we are respecting supply over and over and over. We broke this low and we can expect even lower levels now. And maybe even to break this one. So from there you can look to your lower time frames. Let's go to our 15 for the moment. You can see yesterday we swept into this, or it was last week. But yesterday we swept these highs. And you can remember my trade longing into that. Now from there, from that zone, we swept it again, and from there we made a clear change of character to the downside. So that was my market structure shift. By the way, I wanted to do this in a call, and I told it in the announcement channel, but there was literally no NMO, so I decided to just break it down in a video call, in a case study. So from there we had that market structure shift. Again, we had a nice pullback to this zone, and again a break of structure to the downside. From there again we have a nice retracement and some nice consolidation over here. So let's zoom into a lower time frame. From this 5 minute, you can see we have some high, we have imbalance over here, and we have a internal range liquidity. You can see it barely tapped that, or not even, but you can also say like, yo, this is a sweep, because that's a huge wick, so there is liquidity. So that got swept, and from there we started consolidating, and this is the interesting part. Let's make this zone a little bit smaller. So a time frame zone. So from here it gets interesting. And I personally first thought, yo, it's very aggressive. His entry was a little bit aggressive, but it had enough confluence like to drop lower. So let me dive into that. Right here. We barely tapped that zone and we swept all of these highs. And from there we started consolidating and we started to create liquidity. And we created liquidity on both sides. On the downside here, as trendline liquidity, and on the upside right here, as trendline liquidity. So what did it do from that? And on the 30-second, you can see it has some minor imbalance. So yeah, it could be valid. That's the reason why this got respected. But there was no change of character here yet. Because this is basically just a respect of demand over and over and over. So you might think it can go both sides. And it still can, because he entered like right here. And still this zone can get respected and it can go up higher. But because we have all those other confluences and that higher time frame bias, it was surely worth a shot, and it's paying off right now for him. So we have a lot of liquidity, and you know that this is basically a demand chain. So that demand chain eventually becomes liquidity. So there's reason to go lower to take that liquidity. So let's delete these zones now to prevent confusion. From there, if you zoom out to if you zoom into our 30-second, you can see there is some imbalance right here. And it did respect that perfectly. So what do you see right here? Also this zone got respected. So what do you see right here? You see trendline liquidity and a supply zone. So we have that confluence, like it swept liquidity, it failed the zone. We have liquidity below, so reason to aim for lower levels. Also, the higher time frame is pro trend because we are fucking bearish. And we filled all the imbalance. We filled this zone. We are still in a downtrend. We are respecting supply. So let's go back to a 1 minute. So once it fills this zone, it was a very nice opportunity to short because you had all those confluences. And if you zoom out to your 15 second, you can see once we filled that zone, we had a valid low created. And this was his entry, I believe. So this is basically a minor structure break, but that doesn't have to mean that the trend is still over, because we have still maybe a supply zone right here that could get respected. Let's target this low. And we also have a zone right here that could get respected. So the safest option is to wait until it breaks this zone. But then you might already missed the opportunity for a nice scalp to short to at least of this zone. So this zone could be a very nice opportunity to take profit. And personally, I think he entered very aggressive, but he had reason to, because it had all those confluences and it swept a lot of liquidity. So he entered like this on that minor break, targeting very low levels. Personally, I would take a lot off right here. I maybe look what it was doing for a nice 4R. But if you target like higher time frame levels, you can even target this low, for example, for a 19R. And if you really want to make a swing trade out of it, you can go to your 4-hourly. And this is a huge target, but that's what's possible with a snipe like this. It's basically a seconds scalp, which you can build out to a swing trade. Look what's possible with this trade, and it doesn't have to mean like, yo, he sniped this. Maybe it broke this low, then you can target for this one. It doesn't work like that, because you also have demand right here and liquidity right here. So maybe it just tags that liquidity and goes higher. You basically never know. But what I at least would target is maybe some kind of demand zone right here on a 15 minute. Or maybe that next break of structure. So let's say you target this and you maybe take profit along the way. Right here at this liquidity. And right here at the start of this imbalance. And right here at the start of that, basically the demand zone. And at the low. So we have 4 beautiful TPs. Where it's possible, it could reverse. You never know. So that was his entry. I would have a personal, a different view. Because we simply had that demand zone right there. So how I personally would approach it is like, you have this demand zone and it got respected. And then you get that pullback to some kind of 0.5 level. Almost. Did not really hit it. But that's valid to me. And from there, you can eventually look for a lower time frame confirmation, because that lower time frame confirmation gives you the confirmation that it might go lower and disrespect that zone. And if it disrespects that zone, you already know we can at least target this demand zone right here, or maybe some imbalance right here. So then you can look for lower levels. So what I personally would do is wait for it to retrace a little bit and give another confirmation. So it surely will not respect this zone and just tap me out. It could easily just tap him out, for example. So that's a very nice example. If you zoom into your lower time frames, your 5 seconds, for example, you have this market structure shift / change of character, and then you have another break of structure. And this would be a very nice entry. And you can target something like this. Or maybe if you really want to play it safe, do it like this, but then you'll have a pretty big stop loss. Well, 2 pips, that's very doable. Let's say you play it like this. And you target, for example, this zone right here. And that's a beautiful 5 to 6 hour trade. Target that low. That's a 7.5 hour. Target this liquidity right here. And you can also see this relative equal lows. So this is a very high probability target. Also because all of the imbalance, of course. Then you would already run a 14-15 hour. And see how it melts, how beautifully it melts. Do this once a week and you're done. And for example, then you can target lower levels, that 15-minute demand or simply that low, to look for that second break of structure. Because price action is price action and market structure is market structure. So if it decides to follow, we can easily target that low. And they are already on a 30-hour trade, with being second to P hit right now. So yeah, I simply wanted to explain that. There's a lot of value into this, and yeah, you see what I do. He took a very nice trade, and I break it down myself to look why he took it and what were his thoughts behind that trade. And you should also do that with every trade me of the elite team takes, or the other mentors. Break it down yourself. Look why others take the trade. What are their thoughts behind the trade? And you have all the information, you have the course, so you should know why they do certain markups and take certain trades. And just to test yourself also and get the experience in. It's so important. You get to work in yourself. Like we can present you a strategy from A to Z, but you won't get there by simply watching videos. So it's very important you put the work in yourself. Yeah, that's basically all I had to say. I'm gonna call it by this, and yeah guys, I'll see you tomorrow when the market open. Alright, ciao ciao.